Mr. Speaker, yesterday a fourth member of the AHS board resigned. Why? Because of, and I quote, interference from the Minister of Health in the AHS board's decision about how to deal with Dr. Duckett. But the Minister of Health keeps saying that AHS is an arm's-length board that makes their own decisions. Two arms, neither of them know what the other one's talking about. And then yesterday the Minister confused us again, saying the board will respond to the Minister when it is required. To the Minister of Health, is the board independent or not, or which arm are we talking about?
The Honourable Minister of Health and Wellness.
Mr. Speaker, the board has, and going forward will always be arm's length, but they report to the Minister. It's in legislation. I don't understand why somebody is questioning the legislation. If you want to change the legislation, then stand up and say so. The fact is, the lines are very clear. And the other fact, Mr. Speaker, is that I have worked with the board chair and with the board to make some important decisions together. Why? Because we have a 5-year funding plan that is very different than not having one and then looking for $1.3 billion in savings. Couldn't be.
Well, Mr. Speaker, Albertans are tired of listening to this minister, so let's try one more. Okay, so you seem to think that it's best to leave things up to the experts who know the most about health and administration, but clearly you can't help but interfere. Will the minister admit that the resignations are at least partially his fault? Yes or no?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, what people choose to do as individuals is totally up to them. That is absolutely fundamental, and I respect that. But when you're talking about moving ahead and moving forward, what Albertans want is what we released today, this document, the 5-year health action plan that talks about what we're doing. It's time for less talk and more action, and the honourable member might want to observe that.
The honourable member.
Mr. Speaker, what Albertans want is the truth. Mr. Speaker, clearly having one board in Edmonton making all the decisions is too tempting for any minister to keep his nose out of it. Independence is impossible. Will the minister admit that decentralized boards would be more independent and would save him from the temptations that he can't resist?
Hear, hear. Yeah. The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, let's be very clear that the Alberta Health Services Board was established by ministerial order under the Regional Health Authorities Act, and it's very clear that it is accountable to the Minister for the delivery and operation of the public health system. And that's what they're trying to do, is operate the public health system. They get their money, guess from who? From the taxpayers. Guess who has to sign off on that budget, Mr. Speaker? I do. And I'm accountable for it, and so are they for delivering and operating within those parameters, and they're doing a pretty good job.